Day. And so we have the pleasure of being joined by Tabo Bo, a Karen refugee that immigrated to America when he was 4 years old. His experience and activities growing up in Utica molded him into the person he is today. He grew up in Thea Bowman, was a young scholar, graduated from Proctor in 2018, where he was a part of JROTC, and is currently a senior at Utica College. He is now 22 years old and started exploring poetry and spoken word during quarantine. Loving bringing people together, he founded Nomadic Voices in 2020, an open mic platform to allow himself and variety of other young talent in the area and creators to share their gifts in a public space. You can catch their pop-up events throughout the year as they travel from city parks to other pockets of the city that came alive during their performances. So he'll join us here today, and he's going to share one of his poems with us. So thank you, Tabo.
Hello, how's everyone doing today? Oh, sorry, forgot. But today I want to read a couple poems if that's okay. They're not that long. It's like 2 minutes each. The first poem I wanted to share is actually my ethnicity. Growing up in Utica, there was a lot of Karen. There was a strong Karen community, but as a kid, especially when I was 4 or 5 years old, I wasn't really proud of that, and because of that, I tried to avoid my culture as much as possible. But today, I'm very proud of my culture. In fact, I wear my traditional clothing in front of y'all, and I want to share this piece that I wrote during the pandemic, and I shared with the city of Utica, and there was some good traction, so I'm going to share with y'all. This piece is titled "I'm Karen." When I was a kid, I used to be ashamed of where I was from. You see, I used to tell people I was from. I used to tell people I was Thai because I was born in Thailand, but it was a refugee camp. And I used to hate the idea of telling people I was from Burma because my parents had to run from there. But when I tell people I'm Karen, they say, "Oh, you from Korea." Then the conversations usually continue on longer than it should have because now I'm explaining where I'm from. But you see, at some point, your ignorance made me shameful. And driven by annoyance, I stopped informing others. But no more. No more shame. No more embarrassment of my own name. No more those times when my mom called me in school and I would refuse to speak our language because the kids will make fun of me. And I go home and I think to myself, why can't I just be white? Why can't English be the only language I speak? Why can't I live with privilege rather than poverty? You see, the kids will call me names. A chink, a nerd. Oh, you're only good at math because you're Asian, not because you studied. And they assumed I was somehow related to Bruce Lee and get into a fight with me. Oh, now you worried? You see, you don't know me or where I came from, what my habit is, what food I like to eat. So maybe I should take this time to inform you. I'm Karen. I wear my cultural shirt with pride and glee, the cultural shirt that's hand woven from an unwritten history. You see, this shirt that signifies years of fighting, running, and hardships, but also the shirt that'll be worn when liberation will come to our soft shores ahead. I'm Karen, backpacking, fish paste loving, and sometimes I even eat with my hands. I'm Karen, and I'm proud that I can speak more than just English. Karen, not Karen, because I don't need to speak to the managers since my work ethic has brought me here. I'm Karen. I'm from Gothule, a place with no borders, but remember, our boundaries are never limited. I'm not Burmese, not Thai, not Korean. Yike Gomyopo. Thank you. That's the first one. That's thank you. That was the first piece. I want to share another piece if that's okay. This one is titled "Sorry for Being a Refugee." I wrote this in perspective, not just my perspective, but also my parents' perspective. During the pandemic, I got to have the time to really talk to my parents. And growing up, I never really had that opportunity to, because we weren't very vulnerable to each other, right? But as an adult, especially my mom and I, we got to have a lot of these conversations, or open-minded conversations, where she talked to me about her experiences, and not just Burma, right? And not just in the villages, but also in America. And so I want to share that as well. This piece is titled "Sorry for Being a Refugee." I'm sorry for being a refugee. You see, my people were murdered. We never thought it would be because of our ethnicity. So I'm sorry for invading your property. You see, when we were forced out of our homes, we never expected to be a burden to yours, because where else can we go? Our home was just burnt down. My people have been killed, and I'm scared. So I'm sorry for surviving. I'm sorry for being an immigrant. When my family relocated to America, we never expected that we will feel unwelcome simply because of our race. So I'm sorry for your ignorance, but it's because of your ignorance that drove me to prove you wrong. It drove me to work harder. So I'm sorry for my work ethic, the work ethic that's been ingrained into my blood from the sweats of my parents, because after years of running, fighting, and hardships, working overtime is nothing. So I'm sorry for taking advantage of your system, the system that don't value its people, but value the money. I mean, ain't it ironic? The richest country in the world is just another contract that sold out its people. So I'm sorry for working. I swear I never meant to take your job. I just need to work harder so the generations after me wouldn't have to work as much. I'm sorry if I ever disrespected you. And I swear I mean it when you looked at me sideways and I gave you that same look. And I'm sorry I didn't talk to you the way how you wanted me to. I didn't mean no disrespect. So I'm sorry if I have an accent. I mean, I know my English ain't the best, but I'm trying. I'm sorry. I'm sorry and I'm sorry, but I'm tired of apologizing. I'm tired of you making fun of my accent when you can only speak English. I'm tired of when you tell me to speak American when I'm just communicating with my friends. I'm tired of you telling me to go back to my country when you stole yours. I'm tired of you saying I stole your job when you just didn't work hard enough. I'm tired of your excuses. I'm tired of you blaming me for your misery. I'm tired of being taken advantage of, and I'm tired of being quiet. Thank you. Y'all can, oh, thank you. Y'all can follow our organization at Nomadic_Voices on Instagram and Facebook. We host a lot of creative events, from poetry nights to open mic nights to like dance battles and all that stuff. So anything creative, anything that gets people together, we try to do that. We want to grow as big as we can. We started during the pandemic, and we're just gonna keep growing. So support us. Oh, you can also follow my personal page, I guess, at Tabizzy, Tabizzy with an underscore. That's my personal page if y'all want. But I would really appreciate it if y'all support Nomadic Voices. Thank you.
Thank you, Tabo. That was incredible.